What is going on, folks? It's CJ and Sue here, and we're here to press some buttons. How's it going, sir?
Sir, I'm doing just fine. But yes, we do have quite a few buttons that need to be pressed. All right.
So the past, I feel this is I feel like we're caught in Groundhog's Day, and it's not our fault per se. Like the
Mm-mm.
past 3 to 4 episodes, we've been talking about E3 because it's been hitting the news every single time. And last we talked, the big three were leaving E3, but we were kind of saying, well, they're still going with it. So I guess it's going to be other people there that's going to show their stuff. Well, as of today, E3 is canceled
Not just canceled, but canceled in. This is,
indefinitely.
yeah. I mean, this is on a level after they just made the announcement of, oh yeah, E3, we're back. It took, it took one, just one publisher to say, yeah, we ain't coming. And that shut the whole thing down. That just shows you the level of strength that the legs E3 had to stand on. If
Look,
it took one, it took Ubisoft of all people, Ubisoft.
look, Repop can sit there and say we're going to continue to work together with the ESA for future E3 events, but that's just dead. I'm sorry. Like
Stop it.
it's look, we said multiple times, like the writing
Mm-mm.
was on the wall as the years progressed and the internet got better in terms of receiving news really quick. Because it went from like people don't remember E3 used to be just exclusive to just developers
It
and
was
and
it
and,
was
and,
actually
and,
it
and,
was
and press, and that was it.
not no no no. See, not only that, people also don't seem to understand the original essence of what E3 was supposed to be. Like E3 way back in the day was a trade show. It was more, it was more of a
Kind of like
trade show.
C2 E2 in a way.
Either C2 E2 or no, better yet CES.
Yeah, CES. I don't know why I said
It's what
C2 E2.
Yeah,
CES basically,
it's like E3 was what CES is today. It's a showcase of what's to come.
and it's
That's all.
exclusive.
Yeah, and it was exclusive to retailers because you had people from freaking toy stores, electronic store
The
outlets.
big toy companies, the big retail
Yeah,
companies
the
would
big
be
toy
there.
companies, the retail companies, hell, news
Investors.
investors, news media outlets. It was more business before it became a damn spectacle of we
and
gotta put on a hype show, have
and
concerts, and
any
do all this
news
other stuff.
and any news you got was like written stuff from like GamePro and Electronic Gaming Monthly if you were going
Yeah,
on their
all the gaming
website,
magazines came.
or you if you read up on the following month of Electronic Gaming Monthly or Tips and Tricks, they'll report what happened at E3 in like a big, like a thicker version of
Yeah.
their monthly retail stuff. Then over time, like you said, it went from this trade show to this big spectacle to where like G4 was there and they were reporting it live there. And that was kind of like the big thing that made people tune into G4, because here you have this only news organization that gives a shit about gaming to actually reporting what happened. Sometimes they would actually show the presentations. Other times you would just shit out of luck and they just report what they said, and you have to go to IGN or other sites.
Yeah,
Then
and
it turned.
then you had the websites like GameStop
Mhm.
was doing like live coverage as well.
Yeah. And then it switched over to they opened it up to the general public because at some point E3 was like, yeah, we have all these people here, and the general public has been saying for years they wish that they can come, and then all of a sudden the floodgates open and it turned into like a Comic-Con, so to speak. You get tickets for E3 and you go there, and I don't like invoking this guy, but I remember when Dark Side Phil went to E3, and I have to
Via Machinima.
via Machinima, but I have to echo something that he said, and I agree with him. It's just you go there, it's just a congested mess. Now, me and Sue have gone to Comic Con. We go as press. Now, it's a congested mess, but we get a lot of our stuff done on preview night.
We get, yeah, I would say about a good 60% of the stuff that we get done is through preview night. Otherwise, we have like the entire weekend schedule is stacked. Like from
Yeah.
Thursday, damn near all day interviews. Friday, all day interviews. Saturday, we might get half, half morning, half evening, or half afternoon scheduled
Yeah.
interviews, or just stuff
Sunday
that,
is
it's
dead.
Sunday. Sunday is usually the chill day,
Get your
or
shopping done.
We get our shopping done. We go straight to that. Who's that company? Who was it? Is that was that Comic Con internal that does
Yeah,
the whole shipping? Instead of like trying to
stuff off.
instead of trying to cram stuff on the plane in your suitcase and get it all messed up, we're like, nope, send it off to you guys. You ship it off. Like ship it off
Mhm.
to our house. Keep it pushing.
And
But
yeah,
like, but
I have
but
to agree
that's
with them. It's a mess at E3 from
it's
what I've
it's
seen.
definitely it's definitely a mess if you're not an industry person. Like if you're not somebody on the inside, if you're not media, press, influencer, if you're not any of those type of people, and you're going there as just a regular ordinary person, line con is what you might as well call it, because you go through lines, you have to sit and wait through a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
It's just not fun as a regular person.
It's not. I mean, you're going there to preview games and stuff, so it's you and like 100 plus other people standing in line try to demo the stuff on a kiosk. And I mean, hell, when we're in San Diego and Street Fighter 6 was there, it was a line for people just to play Street Fighter 6. Now, like I said, again, thankfully, preview night we were able to jump in the front and play a little bit of Street Fighter
Yep.
6. This is before they put out the beta for everybody if you were lucky to get in, but still,
No,
like,
I was able to play it twice. I played it preview night and Sunday, early Sunday before they opened the doors officially.
yeah. And the thing of it is, like, you take and that's just at Comic Con. Now take what's at Comic Con and you amp it up times like 1,000 at a fucking trade show like E3. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you got friends, you're not gonna have necessarily the best experience there. Yes, you're in LA. You're gonna probably be more so like, you know what? I mean, E3 is cool, but I think I'm gonna travel around LA and visit some stuff. Fuck this. This is insane, right?
Yeah.
So over time, as the internet got better and as more people were able to report on E3, Nintendo, as we said before, came in and was like, "Hey, we're doing our own thing," and it just opened up Pandora's box of like, "Uh-oh, well,
Yeah.
E3 is no longer special anymore because Nintendo can go onto YouTube and do their
Remember remember
Nintendo
the
Direct."
remember the Treehouse, the Nintendo Treehouse Direct.
Mhm.
Nintendo pretty much looked at E3 and said, "Hey yo, E3, it's been real. Peace in a bottle of hair grease. We out. We
Yeah,
doing our own thing," because they can do as many directs as they want. They don't
so
have to wait 1 year. They don't have to wait and just come out to one show a year. Hell, pay this company a buttload of money just to do their announcements. And let's be real, to do their announcements in a timed setting,
yep.
because even though they have the space to do it, I know they're only allotted like a certain amount of time to do whatever presentation that they need to do.
Mhm. And I mean now, and then Sony followed suit, and they were doing their presentation, which just like Nintendo, they're able to just pop in, do what they gotta do. Hey, we're showing new Final Fantasy 16. Boom! Instead of waiting to E3 or
Yep.
Tokyo Game Show, and then show it.
State
You
of
can show it
play.
anytime on a weekday afternoon between 5 to 5:30. I mean, hell, you saw us do a live reaction to Sony's
And it
thing
was
where it was
quick.
like it was like a smooth 40 minutes, and that was it. Done and
And not,
done. That's it.
and not
You
even
know,
Sony. I mean, hell, like all the other companies, a lot of other companies are doing it. Capcom does it from time to time.
yeah, we did the
But
Capcom live reaction. That was great. And that's the thing. It's like once that happened, you're kind of sitting back like, well, what's the point of E3 now? And because E3, like you said, it turned to this big thing where the celebs come there to do performances, and I'm like,
yes,
that's cool, but what's this got to do with E3? Other than these
not a whole
celebs love
lot.
video games, and
You know,
so
then you try to get the freaking orchestras that do the music for some of these games, and that's cool, I guess, but I would rather go to an actual concert, you know featuring that orchestra, and just have them do like a whole 2 hour concert, instead of just going there and they're performing like what, 5 songs, then the next group comes on.
I mean, and then much like a lot of stuff, the pandemic happened, and it just
Yeah.
put the kibosh in E3 right there.
See, but let me tell you some real stuff here. See, the very last time the E3 was even considered relevant was 2019. Because that was the last one that they actually had. But even then, it was kind of eh. A lot of people would say 2019 E3 was just kind of meh. It, like, not all that great. They felt the writing was on the wall even back then. who knew a global pandemic would come in and just do so much damage to it?
Yeah, it isn't like I said,
I
a lot
mean,
of companies did.
irreparable damage.
It did, and I mean, you think about it, like, you go to Comic-Con, even if Marvel doesn't show up, you're going to Comic-Con because it's not just Marvel, there's other things there to
Yeah.
see from other studios, and even just on the comic book front, DC and Marvel Comics are there, they got stuff there, Image, there's something there, right?
Not even just on the comic front. I mean, you got how I mean, however,
Adult Swim.
no, I was gonna say, despite how you feel about them, you got Netflix, you got Hulu, you got Fox, you got all the television media outlets, you got the movie studios here. You know, you don't need Marvel.
Yeah, and I mean, even the one year that Marvel Studios wasn't there, you had DC there for
Yep.
what they showed. I mean, we were there when we saw them show Warner Brothers showed,
It was the greatest
Godzilla.
layup ever.
But even then though, even if let's say if WB and Marvel Studios didn't show up, you have other stuff
Yeah,
there at Comic-Con. You
there was
have other
plenty of other stuff.
there's stuff there. And with E3, it's like, well, why am I going there? Other than, oh, I'm in LA, I'm hanging out, but I can just watch this shit from my hotel room. Like, why am I going down there in that crowd of people dealing with that bullshit? Oh yeah, I get to demo these games. Cool, I guess. And
I mean, is
we're
there a
all
dealer's
reporting the
room?
same shit.
Is there a dealer's room? Is there an artist alley?
I don't think there is. And
Not in no E3. I don't think so.
and then the thing of it is, you think about the crossway of things being reported. Everybody's reporting the same shit.
Mhm.
Give or take a couple of people that might have their own little spin on it. I mean, hell, I think Angry Joe stopped going to E3 even. Like
Yeah, he did.
he used to report at E3 and then just stopped because it's like, what's the point? You know,
Because
because
like, honest to God, by the time any developer makes an announcement of some kind, it is already out there. Hell, the news is already out there before E3 even starts.
exactly. So and then that's on top of Jeff Knightley starting the digital Summer Game Fest stuff. So there's that.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like,
Jeff Keighley with the Game Awards, and going back to Sony State of Play, the Sony experience, PlayStation experience. Microsoft's got their own thing.
I mean, Gamescom is bigger than E3, and I'm surprised
Yeah,
Gamescom didn't die off. But I don't
Gamescom
know.
and PAX.
Yeah, but again, PAX, just like Comic Con, has other stuff there. It's like a
Yeah,
convention slash gaming, so you're getting the best of both worlds and stuff.
right.
You get your gaming stuff, but you got people dressed up. You got dealers rooms. There's
Artist
others.
Alley.
There's artists out. There's things there. Gamescom, I'm not familiar with the layout of Gamescom, so I don't know. But the fact that it's still going on speaks volumes, I guess, of how they organize stuff. So it's
From my understanding, I think Gamescom is E3 with half the budget, but still puts out a better show.
yeah, yeah. I mean, E3 is like 1/6 the size of Gamescom, so Gamescom is like the bigger one.
I feel personally, E3 should just go ahead, know when to hang it up, understand that they have been in the game for the longest of long times, and just say, hey, let's go out. Let, let's go out knowing, the industry, like we're no longer needed. Our
Yeah,
services are done. We have provided the service. They've been doing this for what, 20 plus years?
if that.
You know, damn near 2 decades, and my guy, just know when to call it. I say
Yeah,
go out while you still. I can't say go out while you still got some dignity. I mean, you already done lost like 4 major companies that just said, "Hey, peace," but just go out with something. Put together a goodbye video. Let thank you. Let everybody
yeah.
know that you appreciated, the love and support throughout the years, despite all the crazy ass changes that you guys did, like leading toward the end. Hell, you remember when they got rid of the booth babes? When
Yeah,
they got rid of the booth babes that one year, and then they brought them back, and it just wasn't the same.
it really
It wasn't
wasn't.
the same.
It really wasn't. I mean, and the thing of it
It's like
is,
it's like taking the Hooters girls uniform and changing it to some shit that nobody, not even the girls, asked for.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, like I said, I just think because I mean, there was a time where I was like, yo, I want to go to E3 one time, and again, that was way back when DSP had went for
Mhm.
Machinima. That's when I wanted to go, But like I said, after he was just like, yo, it's just so exhausting. Yes, it's E3. Yes, it's great, but it's just exhausting to Sony. He was like, you know what? I understand, and yeah,
You know, I was this close to going to E3, and guess what year it would have been?
2017.
2020.
Uh,
I
mm.
was, I knew it, like I
Couldn't
know
be
a
me,
guy.
dog.
No. See, here's the thing. I know a guy who was gonna hook me up. He said, because he goes to E3 for free, he could have got me in as a guest. Like I would have I had a guest pass ready and everything, and I was ready to go. But then when everything officially shut down and E3, of course, was canceled way early, I was like, well, hopefully E3 will still be good and I can go check it out. But when I started seeing all the chips falling down, I didn't even care about going to E3 after that.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, yeah. It's insane. Yeah,
And like I
so
said, it was before the pandemic even became a thing.
all I'm saying is RIP, you know, E3. It's been
Again,
well again. I like I said, I really feel Repop just needs to just go ahead and just did it because it's like you're gonna try for next year for what? You already see the writing on the wall. What else do you have?
I mean, what can you really do? I mean, besides you talked all of this stuff about restructuring E3 and trying to make it better than ever for 2023, and then here you go and cancel in 2023. And then what? You're going to try to make some kind of blind faith promise of coming back even better than ever for 2024? I mean, the only thing you can really do at this point is just do a whole thing dedicated to indie.
Yeah.
That's about
Uh
really all you can do.
yeah, and those people can
What
just
I mean,
those
what companies are left?
but those people with the indies, they got Nintendo and Sony there to showcase their shit any fucking way.
Yes, they
So
do.
what's the point now? It's a bigger reach, especially like we said, Nintendo and Sony do directs. I don't think Microsoft has done directs yet. But like,
Microsoft did something. They got their
okay,
own thing.
okay. But yeah, yeah. But anyways, next piece of news, Last of Us 1 port, part 1 port, PC port. Shit.
Woof. Woof.
Who should Let me ask you this. Who should
Straight
have
up
been is
woof.
that all on Naughty Dog or did they outsource that to somebody else?
You know, that's something that I would love to look up. Who who developed The
Um,
Last of Us 1?
because the issues have been shit from like performance issues, people's CPUs fucking crashing,
Mhm.
freezing, the cinematics fucking just wonky as hell to where the graphics and the characters look off. It's a mess. I mean, this is like coming close to fucking what's the name of that that game that came out cyberpunk
Yeah,
tier of
Cyberpunk. Uh-huh.
yeah yeah
I mean, the jury's still out. There was a patch. Yeah, they did put out a patch that improved memory and performance and quote unquote more. But
Iron Galaxy did it.
wow, you know what? I'm shocked and quite disappointed. Iron Galaxy.
Yeah,
Um,
because they
see,
did
hold up.
the
See, check it out
Legacy of Thieves collection for PC too.
and check this out. So they said that they're currently investigating the following issues for Last of Us Part 1. Loading shaders take longer than expected. Performance stability is degraded while shaders are loading in the background. Older graphics drivers leads to instability and or graphical problems. Game may be unable to boot despite meeting minimum system requirements. A potential memory leak. Mouse and camera jitters for some players, depending on your hardware and display settings. And that's just to name a few.
As of yesterday, they rolled out a patch to stability and performance, but they're still keeping an eye out for more bug fixes. And I'm like, yo. And the thing of it is, we're coming off of the fact that we had two other games that came out perfectly. God of War and Sony Spider-Man both came out on PC with zero issues.
Also, Miles Morales that
Yeah,
got
Miles
released as
Morales.
well.
All three of those games, zero damn issues.
Yep.
Like that is crazy. And you would think Last of Us Part One, oh man, it's gonna come out on PC. This is gonna be dope, and it's
Not
shit.
only that, you would think Iron Galaxy. Iron Galaxy, you guys are known for quality. What happened? Who lost the bet?
Yeah. The N64 controller for the Switch is back in stock. Which
Well, that's good.
why would you want to play with the N64 controller? I don't know.
Nostalgia, Chris. It's nostalgia. You know that. I mean, on top of that, Nintendo is doing whatever it takes to keep accessories and things like accessories, amiibos, and all that junk in stock to stop the scalpers and resellers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As of today, SSDs and micro SDs are on discount at various websites.
They've been on discount for like the longest time.
Oh, I know. But today
Like
apparently
all,
there was news of like SSDs fucking going on sale. I was like, the
I
fuck?
mean, was there one in particular that caught your eye?
There was a SanDisk micro SD, 400 gigabytes, only $29.
That's not bad. I saw a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD for like $80.
Hmm, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. I
And of
mean,
course they market it as, hey, don't lose data on your PS5. Don't save your PS5 from games crashing or random deletes or whatever. I mean the way that they marketed their advertisement for it, I thought was interesting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one of those things that I'm kind of debating on which to get. Um, for the PC that I'm almost done building finally. Um, so yeah, I might jump on that and get one of those micro SSDs just to keep
Yeah,
going.
if your motherboard's got the slot for it, then just get one.
Yeah. Tekken 8. Tons of character trailers since because the last trailer that came out when we did it was what King was it? No, it wasn't King.
It wasn't King. We
Was
got
it was a Kazuya and Jin?
it was Kazuya and Jin, and since then
Paul, martial
we got
law,
Paul, martial law,
Nina.
King. No, Nina was actually first. She
Yeah,
was
yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Paul,
I'm
martial
talking about
law, Jack 8, June,
and
and
King
King and
and Xiaoyu.
Lars and Shayu.
Yeah,
So
we had just those characters drop.
this game is looking pretty good, man. I think a lot of the mechanics that a lot of people were very wary on, I think people are going to come around to it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious on what the initial roster of this game is going to be.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, Tekken has always been pretty good about having a big roster when it drops. So,
For me, like me personally, I think now that June is officially canon and
she's
and returned,
alive. She's
she's alive,
alive. She never got killed, which I think it was you
which is
pointed out, like Chris, that there was CJ, there was no body. We just assumed she got killed.
like I
So
said, there was no proof.
yeah. So, even though it's funny, Tekken Tag 2 makes it seem as though she's dead with the whole unknown and June shit,
Yep.
kind of thing. Which what's the countdown onto where they make unknown canon? What's the countdown on that one?
Well, we see hints of it from her trailer. From June's trailer, she's got attacks that kind of either resemble or there's like those little subtle hints of unknown. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm looking at Namco like, hey Namco,
Just trying to make that shit canon, huh? Trying to make fetch happen, aren't we?
are we really doing this? I mean, we really doing this, Namco? Like, look, just don't let her be broken. I mean, we're good.
Yeah. Um, Siegfried from Soul Calibur is in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising, which that's interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, that was really
That's
interesting.
that's interesting. Your Siegfried was always the character in Soul Calibur that, like, when the first game came out, it's like, oh man, this guy got this big giant ass great sword. He's great, and then just over time, it's like, so he's like the good version, and then Nightmare was the evil version of him, and then somehow they separated, and Siegfried is back. It's Soul Calibur has a very confusing plot line.
Yep,
Very confusing. Very confusing. But hey, we got Soul Calibur character in 2D. That's interesting. That
we
is
do.
interesting.
And I really want to get into Grand Blue. Like I never played it,
I want
but
to, but I just can't.
between that DNF duel and there's all these crazy anime fighters that look really dope, and I want to give it a shot and try them out.
Yeah. Capcom is prohibiting the use of leverless controllers that don't follow
Yeah,
unidirectional input.
what is it? Hurt boxes are now banned.
Fully banned
Like,
hitboxes.
sorry, I said hurt boxes, but hit boxes are fully banned.
They're actually fully banned. You can't use hitboxes at all.
You
Nah,
can't.
it's weird because
Actually, there was the other hold on. There was another thing that was added too. They said uh if you do not properly disconnect when when you're done your set, if you don't properly disconnect, you are disqualified from a tournament. That was at Capcom Cup. Get this, get this though. Tell me why. Very very popular. Was it not PNC? PCB fight like Ultimate Fighting Game board company Brook, right?
uh
Brook comes out with an update within mere minutes of that announcement from Capcom. They come out with an update that automatically uh desyncs from it automatically disconnects from the console that you're playing on the moment you disconnect it. Like as soon as you unplug it, you don't even have to do none of the crazy, hold down the power button and do all that shit on the controller. It automatically does that now.
yeah. I mean, the thing about
Everybody's looking at Brooke like, yo, big ups, Brooke.
I mean, but like the thing about hitboxes that was always interesting to me was like, I wasn't one of those people that automatically say, "Oh, it's cheating." I do feel hitboxes do give a bit of an advantage because like you can do things that you can't do with a regular stick.
Yeah.
Like different inputs you can do on a hitbox, you cannot do on a controller or arcade stick. You can't. And that there is a slight advantage in that, especially for charge characters and using hitbox. It's a fucking
Mhm.
wrap. Like you could do up and down at the same time. It's so much stuff you could do with a hitbox. And I've used look, me and you technically we OG hitbox back in the day with the keyboards,
Yes.
the keyboard and stuff in high school. But like the idea of hitbox, I get it, but at the same time, it's like I understand because there is a little bit of a slight edge with that. And I think Capcom is like, hey, we want to make sure that there's no controversy. Everybody's using either a controller or arcade stick, and that's it.
Yeah,
No,
they just didn't want like any signs of people, cheating
there's
using.
$2 million up for fucking grabs. They're trying to make sure there ain't no fucking dumb controversy of he used a hitbox and he got it.
I know, but I'm talking about from Capcom's perspective. They just don't want to see people using buttons, buttons as a replacement for a stick.
Yeah,
It's like they want to make sure that your movement is based on an actual ball or bat top stick. Like no buttons, no nothing. It's either you're bringing a stick or you're bringing a controller. It's
yeah,
like either pad or stick. Pick one.
yeah. So, yeah,
Because let's be real, there's a lot of programmable stuff that you could put in both mix boxes, hit boxes, like all these other crazy types of controllers where you can make a button. The fact that you can turn a forward, a back, a crouch, or a jump into a simple button.
yeah,
Who's to stop you from setting up programmable combos by just throwing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of a sudden your character is pulling off like a 20 hit combo without
it's,
even trying.
it's the AI debacle all over again. That artists and apparently in the music business is happening right now where AIs make it easy for you to voice certain rappers. So I can sit there and talk with the AI with whatever lyrics I write and have
Mhm.
it voice as Drake. which that's dangerous in and of itself because now you'll have Drake rapping lyrics to something that he's never rapped on before, and everybody thinks it's Drake on it, and it's not.
It's like record box and Serato stems
Exactly.
for all my DJs out there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can isolate stuff in a song now.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, that's gonna be definitely interesting. Ed Boon, teasing Mortal Kombat 12.
Again,
Yeah.
with the teasing. Just drop the damn trailer already.
I'm betting that at Evo he's gonna drop the trailer for MK12.
I imagine so.
If not before then, if he does something that's not well, since E3 is done, he might do something on his own. Could. Or he, like I said, he might wait for Evo to drop something. But the MK fan base has definitely been riding MK11 to the wheels fall off. Because
That they
MK11 is at Evo this year, and I was like, damn, MK11 is still people still playing that game, huh?
Yep. Just like how this is what Evo Japan right now is the last Evo for Street Fighter Five. We're
Yeah,
still
Evo
playing
Japan's
that.
happening right now, which I'm not switching my sleep schedule for that shit. So best of luck, guys. Like, sorry, it's just
I will see you at grand finals, and I'll follow. To all my FGC folks out there that I follow on Twitter, whatever Instagram stories you throwing up, I'll look at it. Like in my own time, but I'm not following any streams. I'm good.
bro. I went
If
through
I
it.
was, if I was back in Japan right now, I would be at Evo Japan.
Bro, I went through it with that Tekken World Tour time. That shit fucked me up. I was like, really? You're starting at 3 o'clock? I hate you. I fucking hate you. Three
Yep.
o'clock in the goddamn morning. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, hell no. Nope. I'll get up at 6 o'clock and see where they at with it, or just watch the fucking VOD. It's
Keep
just.
it pushing. Just keep it
Um.
pushing.
Speaking of fighting games, Mike Ross is back. He's doing his
You
sort of
mean
own.
the other world excellent adventures
Yeah, that's what I was about to do.
of Cian and
And Mike
Mike
Ross.
Ross.
Mike Ross looking very happy now. He's not looking going through the motions, Mike Ross anymore.
It's
Which
Mike Ross happy that Street Fighter V is going away, even though he does main Honda. But it's just that Honda came too late. Let's be real, Honda came too late in from the viewpoint of Mike Ross.
yeah, me and you talked about this. Like, I don't think he necessarily had venomous hate for Street Fighter Five. It's just like a lot of players did when Street Fighter Five switched from season one to season two, that they did such a drastic change to where it was like either
It
A, you stuck it out, or B, you just said, fuck this game, I'm done.
What
Because
it really was season three. Season three left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth.
I thought it was season two, because I know a lot of people like season three.
No, it was season three. Because
I thought
Remember Ryu got nerfed to hell and back.
well, I
When
thought it
Sanford
was season two he got nerfed.
He was fine. If I listen, I might have my seasons mixed up, but
Yeah,
I
you
do
might have
remember.
to, because I remember
No,
season two
I
was the
do
one everybody was
remember.
like, what the fuck?
But I do remember it was one season where Ryu was like top dog in Street Fighter V until one season dropped, and they literally just took him out of the game. Where freaking Daigo stopped playing him.
Yeah, it was season two. Because I remember at that point, because Daigo was using them in season one, remember? And then season two,
He
that's when
switched to Guile.
yeah, but he switched to Guile in season two once I remember he talked about Ryu and he tried to stick it out. And after a tournament, he's like, fuck this, I'm going to Guile. He switched over to Guile.
I mean, dude, the switch up was so real because I was not used to seeing him play Guile, but holy crap, that's
yeah. Because I remember season two was the one that everybody felt the defensive options were gone from season one.
right.
And it was just, and then season three, people started coming around to the game finally and stuff. But like you said, by the time you got to season three, even though it was fine, everybody else kind of, I won't say moved on, but you had Tekken, you had Guilty Gear, you had all these other games, and Street Fighter V was there. It was fine, but it is what it is. But like you said, Mike Ross jumps in during the latter last season of Street Fighter V with E Honda, and he's enjoying it. But like I said, I think he's just ready for Street Fighter 6 at this stage.
I mean, a lot of people are. Hell, I know I am.
And,
I'm ready for Street Fighter 6. After playing it at Comic-Con and then playing the beta, oh, I've been having a lot of fun with it.
um, Street Fighter 6 to me from the beta and just everything that I'm seeing, it's more system driven, like Third Strike is,
Hmm.
where any character is viable. Now, granted, Third Strike had its issues because of the character balancing we know of, but like the characters were still viable. You just had to work hard in certain instances. And it seems like with Street Fighter 6, it's more system based and it's just whatever character you pick, you just work from there within the confines of the Street Fighter 6 system and just go from there,
Right.
which I think that's probably a good thing because it opens it up to any character is viable and then we'll see what happens. Now, granted, you might have some characters. I think the first season is where it's going to be kind of like, I'm not going to say a clusterfuck, but
It's
that
gonna
first
be
that first tournament is going to be telling on which characters everybody picking, what move is being used, and all the way till we get to Evo.
the
And I'm
thing
like,
is, but the thing is from watching a lot of the footage that I've seen of Street Fighter 6 so far.
mhm.
Number one, while it is almost anybody's game, number two, it's definitely if you're a grappler, oh, you're gonna have so much fun with this game because throws do so much damage and grappler characters do crazy damage. I'm not saying that the first tournament is gonna be overrun with Zangief mains. I'm not saying that, but just understand that if you get thrown and that throw connects, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean that Ehan that Zangief versus the MMA chick,
Mm-hmm.
lady,
Spartan, if you
yeah,
will.
Spartan, fucking Lady Crick Marduk. Um, yeah, they them shits hit hard.
Everything
Um,
hurts.
Camby's hooligan, her move set, all that shit looks fucking nuts. Yeah, that man, this game's gonna be like I said, that Evo Street Fighter 6 tournament is gonna be bananas. I sense upsets happening because of people because I mean the game comes out literally a month before Evo, and they're
Two
gonna really
months.
yeah, 2 months before Evo, and it's gonna feel like it's gonna be a free for all of well, it's anybody's game because everybody got Street Fighter 6 at the same time. So it's gonna be anybody's guess. Cause I think even with everybody playing the open beta, we already know betas and the main game always changes up.
Oh yeah,
So
everything will be switched up. Because like imagine everybody right now who is going through means, if you will, to keep playing the beta despite it being over, and the people who are playing the open demo at Japan, was it?
Evo Japan right
No, no,
now.
not Evo Japan. They were actually able to play it at a department store.
Oh wow.
This, yeah, like they're able to play it like like on the streets of Akihabara right now. Not even in the arcade. It's just an open demo in front of. I think it's like a big camera. But
Hmm.
anyway, you get to play this demo. I'm just wondering, everyone who's trying to practice off of the beta, and they're going to try to bring that tech into the full game when it drops, and then you come to find out, oh, that doesn't work like that
Rude
anymore.
ass awakening.
I'm like, that doesn't work like that anymore. That does significantly less damage. That character doesn't even have that move anymore.
Mhm.
But because this was a situation that happened in Street Fighter Five, because if you remember the beta version of Street Fighter Five, everybody loved it. It was, if anything, Chun Li was just the most out of control character from that beta. But I was
Mhm.
liking the stuff that they were doing with her. But then as we got closer and closer to the game's eventual drop, once it dropped, all the fun was like taken out of it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, like I said, I'm excited for Street Fighter 6. I'm excited for Evo that weekend because I want to see how much of a ridiculous free for all that shit's gonna fucking be for that game. So we'll see. That's gonna be a fun little game. Dude, so you remember we talked about multiverses, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it came out and it started slowing down like to a thud, right? So
Yeah,
apparently the game of multiverses that's been out was just an open beta. It wasn't really the actual game.
I know. I heard about
It's
that.
weird. It's
I, I s-
weird. So
I was like, wait a minute, are y'all trying to save face, or are y'all really trying to do something like?
So
you had everybody believe that for the
it was
better
the
part of a
real
year,
game.
for the better part of a year that we were playing that beta at Evo when it was on Twitch. It was the biggest game, like 150 plus thousand people were playing it.
Mhm.
Fast forward to today, and it's like barely a couple thousand people playing. I've seen that that game dropped off so hard in viewership, but you had us believing that this it was only a beta, when it was first talked about, and then when everybody got access to it, we were playing the full game, and you were just adding stuff as we go along, or some Smash Brothers nonsense, right?
Mhm.
But then we come to find out this has been just a beta the entire time.
And it shuts down June 25th. And
Yeah,
they're gonna relaunch it as an actual game in early 2024. And I'm like, okay, but are people gonna really give a shit? Are you gonna add some more new characters to get people back into multiverses? Because as it stands, people just stop giving a fuck about multiverses and the
people
gimmick of it.
people
Like
most
it's
definitely people most definitely stopped playing it once the novelty wore off.
and look, we got interviews from San Diego Comic Con up on our channel, with the creators, and they, like I said, they felt very keen and happy about the game. So it's just like, what are they gonna do with this drop in 2024 that's going to get people like, hey, come back to multiverses?
I mean,
It's
now that Smash Brothers is over and done with, you know, anybody at this point can come out with a game that plays similar. In fact, many people have. You have Brawlhalla. You have what is it? The not Asher. There was this one game. Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, here it is. It's I just saw it. Rivals. Yeah, Rivals of Aether,
mhm,
and yeah, between Rivals of Aether, Brawlhalla, especially Brawlhalla. Like,
yeah.
these are games that have guest characters and they're really fun to play. I mean, they play a lot like Smash Brothers. Come on, guys. You're Warner Brothers. You have
Got the whole library.
behind you. It's like look at my wall of characters here. You have all of that at your disposal. Just pick a character, design some stuff, do some stuff with it, and make the game fun. Don't try
Yeah,
to take it too seriously.
yeah. Like I said, I don't get it because it's like, again, unless you're adding new characters, why even play it now? Like, because everybody's gonna probably just presume that it's still the same game. So I'm like, what are you adding to the fold
I
here?
I'm under the impression that they're definitely going to add a lot more stuff to it. I mean, they would be smart to do that.
I mean, shit, should.
Like, don't just end it off and then release the game half a year later and it's still the same shit. It's just now everything is there for like one fee instead of different. Like,
Yeah.
instead of like different amounts of money. Just don't do that.
I mean, it's weird. So the big thing that's happening that just came out last week, Resident Evil 4 remake dropped
Mm-hmm.
this past last Friday. I was out of town that weekend. I had already picked it up, but I didn't get a chance to play it. But this guy over here
Yeah,
sat there and played it that whole fucking weekend. I think you beat it that Sunday. You beat it, yeah, that
I
Sunday you
did
beat it.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning he beat
I
it and stuff. And I remember he sent the voice chat like, okay, guys, I beat Resident Evil Remake. And I was like, this motherfucker, like, all right, shit.
Because I told you, I got it. I played it the day that the game dropped. I got home from work. I was like, okay, it's Friday night. I am going nowhere this weekend. I'm gonna chill out and just enjoy my time playing Resident Evil. I sat back, and the only reason it took me so long is because I was doing treasure, like I was hunting for treasures, and anything that I came across that looked interesting, I was just doing random side quests. So I went from playing late Friday night, most of Saturday,
Mhm.
and then I finished it Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I honestly, if I could do it all over again, I would. I wouldn't change anything. It was probably the most fun I've had in quite a long time. And I'll be honest, this is how you do a remake. You
Yeah.
properly pace the game. You don't cut out you don't cut out necessary, like, you don't make these unnecessary cuts to stuff. Looking at you, Resident Evil 3. you don't, like making the decision to cut U3 from the U3 boss fight.
Smart.
It's smart because I said this to you, Chris, because I know you mentioned it before. Like, I can't believe they cut the U3 fight, and I had to remind you. I was like, dude, go back,
I
go
wasn't
back.
sad about it. It was
No,
just
no,
like,
no, no.
ah,
I didn't say that. I was just saying you mentioned that, and I said, well, Chris, go back and do the U3 boss fight in OG4 because that fight alone is more of a puzzle. It's more
I
of a
mean,
puzzle for no, the first chunk of it, it's a puzzle, and then after that, once you drop like each freaking panel one after another, and then you make your way back up on that platform, you're playing ring around the freaking Rosie with them, like closing the gates on them and trying to shoot them and shit.
I mean,
It's this was all in just a matter of pacing, which is funny because the U3 fight takes place after the minecart ride.
yeah. The thing about it is, the U3 fight just comes out of nowhere, and it serves no purpose to the story. And I think,
Or remember, it's it, as Sadler was saying.
yeah, but it served no fucking purpose. It just served the purpose just to pad the fucking game that was already long as shit
Oh,
in the
it was
first goddamn
definitely
place.
padding. It was just
Um,
another excuse for you to get like like an absurd amount of pesetas.
um, the remake wanted so I want to bring this up because this was something that we talked about some months back when the developers were talking about this, and they nailed everything. So um one of the things that they hit on that this game nails perfectly, um they said they replayability and flexibility and how you play were key pillars of development. Yes.
Yes.
I beat the game. I started on Monday and I beat the game Thursday night. um the replayability for this game is insane. Like, he's not lying. There are people right now currently that are trying to do map out professional runs of this game. And there are a lot of
Mhm.
people that are still doing it. It ain't a quick endeavor. It's like, oh, this shit's fucking tough.
Yeah, and it's mostly because the game itself
The
is
AI is like the man, the
like the
computer is
game.
just smart.
Like, not only is the computer smart, but I mean the game itself. The length of this game. This is a long game. Hell, even if you run through the game on assistant and try to like skip stuff, you're gonna take at least a good 4.5 to 5 hours of just
Well,
skipping.
I've seen people
No,
beat it. Well, without glitches, I've seen people beat it in 2 hours and 45 minutes.
again, you're trying to skip everything. Like, if you just run past the enemies, you're running with like the most basic stuff. You're not talking to the merchant. You're skipping all the cutscenes. Um, you're not focused on leveling up weapons or anything like that. You are going with like the most default stuff, like default stuff that you got. You're not touching any storage boxes. You're not doing any
Well,
saving.
it depends on how you're routing it. Because like I said, the
That's what
ones
I'm
that
saying. Like your route mileage definitely varies, but I'm talking about to go straight cold turkey from like whatever you have from the beginning of the game and whatever you pick up along the way. That's it.
yeah, a lot of it,
It's on average you will do about 4.5 hours.
still, even with the routing, I've seen it less than 4 hours.
I'm just
I,
saying.
I,
I'm just
that's what,
see.
the D,
You're coming at
that's the
no.
D, that's with the default. I've seen everybody they routed out like, okay, I'm going for this gun. I'm getting this treasure that's going to get me this amount to beef up this gun so I can get past this. And they
You
have the
also
route.
have to, but Chris, you also have to remember RNG is probably the biggest bitch of this game now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's
But that's even with RNG. It's really the only two spots. Now, this is where you're right on
no,
this.
but wait, when I refer to RNG, I'm referring to like drops.
No, that's what I'm saying. But
There's
that's what I'm saying.
barely any static drops in this game.
But that's what I'm saying. These people that beaten it in under 4 hours, they're not relying necessarily on random drops. They're just relying on treasures, and then whatever drops they get is just a bonus. That's essentially what they're relying on. It's just a bonus.
Okay.
They're more so hyper focused on, all right, well, I'm getting this treasure, just so I can beat the gun up. Oh shit, I got extra shotgun ammo. All right, well, that's just a bonus because I wasn't expecting that. That's how they're able to do it and stuff. But the two spots in the game, from what I've seen, that people have a tough time with, it's the cabin fight at the beginning. That's the
Yeah.
one that kind of it's a bit tough because you have to wait it out until the giant dude with the hammer comes through, and if you kill him, then it stops the fight cold turkey. Then you have that, and then you have what was it? It wasn't no, it wasn't no, it wasn't Mendez fight. It was the fuck. Oh, the Vertigo fight.
Hmm.
Because the thing of it is, some people would rather kill him. So it's like trying to route out where to freeze him and then go from there.
You only have like I think two or three chances to actually freeze them.
For because you got that one spot, you got the one in the hallway, you got the one on the side, and there's one more on the other side, and that's it. It's four
Okay.
spots. Yeah, it's four spots total. But like I said, it's routing out. All right, he's coming. Let me hit this, and then killing him and stuff. Because again, you need the gem from him and stuff. And that's another big thing too. The gem system, the treasure system is literally like the bread.
Random.
It's random, but it's definitely for certain bosses. Obviously, you get a specific gem automatically. Anyways, it's everything, but um yeah, the replayability is just ridiculous from speed running all the way down to trying to get like an A rank, S rank, and get certain costumes and stuff. Like you have to beat the game on hardcore to get the armor Ashley, which to be honest with you, that's the only way you can get through professional mode
Yep.
easily. Because like OG RE4, it was funny. Professional mode with Ashley, it was doable, right?
Hmm.
Um, this game, I don't see how you play professional without armored Ashley. Like I feel you need armored Ashley to get through that game on
You need it
professional.
because again, this is a hard like I don't care what anyone says. Like I've watched a number of people show off how they've done it, from Car C to Waifu Hunter to like a couple of other guys. Like I've watched the way that they play it and their own reviews of running through this game on professional or just trying to run through the game without talking to the merchant. And this game is hard. Like this is a hard game.
It wants you to move around while you're shooting.
You
Like
have to
you have
move.
to use your environments to your advantage. Otherwise, you can't
Like,
just like, oh, let me sit in the corner and just shoot. Nah,
nope,
nigga, you
don't
need
even
to
do it
run around, shoot them in
because
the knee.
sometimes the enemies have this ability to just disappear and then reappear either directly behind you or somewhere on your peripheral vision where you can't even see them, but they're there and they're beating the shit out of you with a mace or stabbing you with a knife or they're doing something, which is why you have to keep moving.
Yeah.
Now, I know when it came to the Vertigo fight, the very first time I did it, I was playing on standard and I was just running through that damn tunnel, just running out the clock for about 4 minutes. And then when I made my way back, I was like, oh, there's the elevator. I hopped on the elevator and I was like, oh, you can actually skip this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Biggest thing too, if you go through the second playthrough and you have the sniper rifle, you can shoot the
You can
bell.
yep, you can shoot the bell.
It
And
stops it automatically, which is good for speedrunners because
mhm.
they're like, oh shit, ding, oh it stops. All right, bet. Let me go to the next. It's
I
like
mean,
what?
but that's why I said that on an average at this time. Let me rephrase that. At this time, on average people that want to try to run through the game, just skipping everything, cutscenes, yada yada yada, you're gonna clock in at least 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
at the very least 4 hours. Yes, it's possible. It's definitely possible to do it in under 4 hours, especially if you know where to go. Like if you got everything mapped out, you got all the puzzles mapped out. Like
mhm.
if you know how to do everything like to a T, then yeah, like you can fly through this game.
Look, the certain parts of the game from the original one in this game is definitely a little bit harder. The infamous water, what was it the I keep messing up
Del
the name.
Lago.
No. The place in the castle.
Oh, the water room.
The water
Yeah.
room is, I would say, this one is a bit more tougher compared to OG. I think the OG, it was just they just threw bodies at you. This one,
Mhm.
it's like,
And
oh, they're
it was
throwing
all,
bodies at you, but it stops until
but it
you
was,
go. Oh, go
but
ahead.
it was also what was it? That was with the difficulty scaling because if you made your way to that room and you didn't hit start like go to load retry or
Checkpoint.
whatever, yeah, if you go to like reload checkpoint and it puts you right there at the start, instead of them throwing like a bunch of enemies at you when but doing the checkpoint reload, there's less enemies because
Yeah,
it resets the difficulty scaling.
yeah. This one, you can go back into the other room, but they will follow your ass back in the other room, and well, that just adds in extra problems. But yeah, that room is still the water room is still tense as hell. They changed up the whole tower situation. Now you have El Gigante that actually throws rocks at your ass.
That one was fun.
That was tense.
It was tense, but it was fun. It was on some Gears of War kind of stuff if you think about it.
They still kept the maze from the original game. That's a bitch and a half because those fucking dogs are more crazy looking.
Hyper aggressive.
Yeah. But they still go down with that shotgun. So there's
Oh, they
that.
do.
The red 9 doesn't have the red dot sight.
No, it
And
doesn't.
you might want to use the actual holder for it in order to actually zoom in.
Yeah, get the stock.
The
Get
stock,
yeah,
because the original game I never used the stock. I just had the red 9, red laser sight. That's it.
mhm.
The biggest one, Luis, actually plays a bigger role, and it makes way more sense than the original game where he's just there.
Yeah, well, he's just there, and then of course, when Sadler kills him, in
It
OG,
comes out of fucking nowhere. I'm
it
sorry. To
really
this
did.
day, that
It,
just
it
random
was
as hell.
Leon. I got it.
How
And
the hell
then,
did you not see a giant? Like,
wait,
come on.
wait, hold on. And then you get hit with, don't talk. I'm a researcher. I'm like, now
We
you
didn't
want to
know
give me
this.
your backstory, dude? You're bleeding out right now.
It's like we didn't know this. We didn't know this before.
It-
Like,
that part always bugged me. It really did, really bugged me. But I'm glad they gave him a bigger role in the game. I will say this. I said this to you, and I said this to you and D. Ada's voice is god awful. It's terrible. I'm not a fan of it. Just not a fan. It was really bad.
yeah. Crawler,
Like
they go ahead.
like how can you do that? What? This has only been a few years. Why couldn't you gotten like the woman who played her in RE2 remake? How where's the difficulty, Capcom? The 2-for-1 deal for Welcome to Raccoon City, another movie that was really bad. You really went with that?
Part of me feels, and like I said, until I lose some backstory on that, like I don't. Here's the thing: I don't hate the chick that voiced her. It's just Ada was already a blank slate. We didn't really know, other than her flirting with Leon. We didn't really know much backstory. RE6 tried to play that whole thing where Simmons had a fucking
I
incel
don't.
crush on her ass and cloned her, which was weird in and of itself.
I refuse to acknowledge that
But
game.
like, I don't. But
Sorry.
I mean, RE6 happened. It's not like
It did, but I refuse to
I,
acknowledge it.
anyways. But
We
like,
got a zombie T-Rex. I laugh every time we.
you laugh. That is par for the course of a
It's
series.
part
I'm
of the. I
sorry.
get it. I get it. I still laugh at it. It doesn't make it any less funny.
Like, come on, like,
Me and you tag team and it's freaking Chris and Piers.
yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
like, but nah,
But no, go ahead.
but nah, like, I didn't mind 80 the game, but it's definitely one of those situations where the voice actress is like a 180 from what we got of Ada, and I don't know whether that's because of whoever gave her directions on how to how to voice Ada in the game. Like if they wanted her to be very cold and distant, which yeah, Ada's cold and distant, but not that cold
No,
and
not
distant
like
sounding.
this.
It didn't bother me, but it definitely is something that, like, even on the second playthrough that I'm doing, I got used to it, so it doesn't bug me anymore. But the first time, I was like, something feels off in the delivery of it. And I was like, I kind of want to put that more so on a director than the actual voice actress because it's like, what were you trying to go with her on this? Did you want her to just like, and it's just, and like you said, the fact that you just get the voice actress from Welcome to Raccoon City, it's like, why? Like, as I don't, again, don't hate the actress, but it's like, that's a choice,
I
you
was
know?
not I was not a fan of that direction. I mean,
Um,
that was
Operation
awful.
Javier with Krauser, they emphasize that a bit more and make Krauser an actual character instead of him just being Bennett from Commando on steroids. Um,
They made
uh,
they made his whole section a lot more fun
it's
in my
fun. It's
opinion.
way fun.
I told you that like when you go through the hunting portion, it's a lot more intense. Um, like him shooting at you from a distance with his freaking bow and arrow was dope. Hell, as long as you got the right weapons, you can actually make that fight a lot more fun. I mean, well, I'm sorry, you can actually make the fight end a lot quicker. But if you want to go toe to toe with Krauser, going like knife fight, oh, the knife fight is
Perry,
so just
Perry.
parry, knife away. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Like I said, they make you sympathetic, but I think one of the angles, because a lot of people thought that, like, because you get different notes on Operation Javier and such. Essentially, it was like him and Leon went on a mission, but it was under the guise, according to the U.S. government, under the guise of taking out drug cartels.
Mm-hmm.
And if you play Dark Side Chronicles, you know, oh, they didn't go down there to take out drug cartels. They were going down there to take out a BOW that
Yep.
was from Umbrella, that
That
a drug
wipe.
lord was using to
Yeah.
help his wife out.
That wiped out
A whole
all of
village.
Kraus. No, not just the whole village, but also all of Krauser's guys. His whole
Yeah.
team got wiped out, and it was just him and Leon.
Yeah. And Crawl's kind of grew resentful of Leon because he's the golden boy, and and Crawler is just like,
Just because he's looked at as I'm here with the survivor.
yeah,
You
and
know?
it's
and hold on, and this is why I'm glad they actually retold the story in this remake. Leon wasn't just selected; dude was pretty much forced into doing this.
yeah, because the president was like, hey, you survived, Raccoon City.
I'm putting you
I,
through
I
this
want.
training.
I want to say I think the president did it for his own protection because if you think about the Resident Evil like series, anybody that left that escaped Umbrella during Raccoon City, we know in RE3 they got hunted down. Old
Mm-hmm.
boy from Stars got hunted down at the beginning of RE3 and stuff. So it's just Jill. And a lot of other people that left, it was kind of like, well, I got to do something because if I'm just left to my own devices, somebody's going to hunt my ass down and kill me.
I mean,
So
Chris was smart. Chris was smart and went to Europe.
yeah, Chris joined the BSAA. Jill joined alongside with him at some point. Leon obviously became a government agent. Claire's the only one that was kind of freelancing because she went from she's like a reporter, but she's still out here, still.
That's mostly because Claire doesn't have like a direct connection to Umbrella the same way Stars and anyone who
And
pretty
Leon.
much anyone who's
Oh,
associated with Stars.
and what's her face from Alpha Squad? That was in
Oh
RE0.
yeah, Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca. She's another one where it's like Rebecca's with BSA now because like what else is she going to do?
Yep.
And it's like it feels like if you were a part of that, you pretty much were back in service. And Claire, like you said, she's so far removed from it. It's like, okay, so what do I do now? I mean, fuck, even Sherry ends up working for the government because it's like, hey, you're technically government property in a
Mm-hmm.
way.
I mean, you actually got injected with the virus.
So
You're cured, but apparently, what was it in RE6? Like, didn't she have like some kind of a lingering?
her and Jake can pretty much instant heal essentially because they were both got the virus in them in a way. Because remember they fell off the helicopter and Jake pulled that fucking slab of the helicopter out of her and she just healed up and it's like,
Yeah, that's what it
oh,
was. Even though she was cured, because what was it? Because the virus
T virus was
was
still kind of in her.
G virus.
G virus.
She got the G virus from Birkin, and because Birkin was her father, and he injected her, he infected her with the virus, and because they're both related, even though she was cured,
Yeah,
she still had like some kind of, I guess,
it's in the bloodstream.
yeah, it's like it's still in her bloodstream. It's part of her. It's actually part of her DNA now.
Yeah.
So now she gets to regenerate, which is interesting. Like basically, it's what would happen if the G virus worked effectively.
I mean, because that's essentially what the G virus was supposed to do in the first damn place. It was supposed to be a healing thing, and well, Umbrella being Umbrella. Hey, this shit here actually transforms you into some shit. So we're gonna use it for bioweapons.
It transforms you when you don't get the right mixing together. Because why is it that anyone who's been exposed to that virus, been injected with that virus, whether whether directly or indirectly, they all come out as a freaking monster. Like I
Well,
never quite got that.
well, except for the rats. The rats,
The rats were the carriers of that virus.
the rats drink the water, and boom, hits Raccoon City, and it's a wrap.
Yeah. Which
um,
I thought that was interesting because hold on, in RE2 remake, did they ever establish that that's what caused it? What caused the virus to break out in R
uh,
like in RE2 remake? Did they ever establish
in the
that it was the
notes,
rats?
in the
It was in
notes,
the notes instead of okay.
yeah, it was in the notes, and I think three kind of expounded on it a little more of how it spread so quickly and shit
Mm-mm.
and stuff, which is why they nuked the whole damn city because it's like, oh no, 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 nuke this shit.
Yeah, it's a, nope, get it out of here. It's gone.
It's a
cancel,
wrap.
cancel the year. Never mind Christmas. Cancel everything.
It's like shit's done. Um, so you have that. Like I said, we said the gameplay it functions in moving around a lot, using the environment to your advantage because there are points in the village where you can get the chainsaw guy to hit one of the bear traps and you can kick them, shoot them, which helps greatly.
Yeah, there's a lot of forward thinking stuff that you can do. Like for example, there was a in the castle when you're dealing with Los Illuminados, when one of them will go to a section that you can't necessarily reach it yet, but they'll go for that lever
Mhm,
to lower the bridge in order for you to get the goat statue head.
mhm.
When I thought to myself, huh, I know this triggers it. Let me take a couple steps back. Let me take out the bolt thrower. Let me add the mine attachment. Let me just shoot it. Let's see what happens. It shoots like it gets stuck on the wall. So I know that I know like one of those guys is gonna come by and try to pull the lever. The cutscene happens. He walks over, gets blown up, and I'm able to run across the bridge.
Hmm. There you go. I mean,
It works.
there are parts of this game where you can take advantage of not triggering anything because the part of the game from chapter 5 where you got Mike in the helicopter attacking, he is way more helpful
Oh
than he
yeah.
was in the OG big time. Like he shoots everything back. There's a shortcut in that game that I found out today where you throw a grenade up to the anti-aircraft thing and it blows it up and it boom,
Yep.
Mike's back. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you
Yep.
kidding me?
Yep.
I literally ran all the way around, got the fucking damn Gatling gun and shot it down. I could have just did that.
Just quick eat and you blow it up.
Now, my thing is this. Oh, when he blows up that door after you take down the anti-aircraft gun, apparently you can hang back and actually snipe all those guys off the turrets and make it
Yeah, you
easy for
can.
yourself to do that. I was like, I couldn't do that in the original game.
Yep.
God damn, this is shit.
This is what makes replay this right here is what makes replay value.
Yeah, it's
Knowing that
just
you can
that
go in and do this, I'm like, oh really? I can do that? Did you get this? Tell me, please tell me you were able to get it. I didn't know about it until I was already out of the castle and I was
mhm,
back using Leon and it was already too late. And I'm kind of mad because I'm actually this one weapon away from getting the trophy.
mhm.
Did you find the M4?
The,
The
the,
M
um,
the M4, it's basically a machine gun that shoots sniper rifles.
I think I did. I
It's
think.
in it. No, see the you would know if you got it. See, when you control Ashley and you run through that library and you end up in that other room, there's a treasure chest that she has to unlock. Only she can unlock it with the keys that she has.
Oh yeah, I did get it. Yeah, I did get it. I
Okay,
did
there
get
you
it.
go.
I did get it. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
think I was just walking around. And I was like, there. Her scenes now, and this again, this speaks to the game itself. The game is definitely, despite the action, it being a bit on the action, it's still a lot of horror and scary elements. The
Oh yeah.
Novista doors, they are scary in the sense of they camouflage themselves way better than the original one, where it's like, oh, I see green eyes.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know the other thing I did? I just yeeted flashbangs and that popped them out of the water.
um, Well, see that one, I just kind of slowly walked until I saw the eyes and I shot them. But I'm talking like when they're camouflaged on the wall, or they're like
Mhm.
camouflaged as rocks, and I'm like, is that a? Well, let me shoot this rock.
Some
Bam!
one other thing, there's something else too. When you get it, because you know the Novicidors, they show back up again later on in the game. When they camouflage themselves, get the bioscope.
Yeah, I had
Get
that.
the
Yeah.
get the bioscope, put it on the sniper rifle, and then right there, I'm popping them all off.
Oh, speaking of the bioscope,
The regenerators. I
them niggas run now.
Yeah, the regenerators run.
And they
Shout
wait
outs
out the door
to
apparently, because if you go through a door and it's a key card door, they'll stand outside and wait for you. Like, oh,
yeah.
you're standing out
Uh,
the door?
shout,
Fuck.
shout out shout outs to Waifu Hunter for for mentioning this. He said it, and now I can no longer unhear it or unsee it. He said these things now are single mothers because they think like that. I was like, when he said that at first, I was like, wait, what? And then I thought about it. I'm like, oh god, yeah, they are.
Bruh,
They made the regenerators fatter, but yet they run. This is
bruh.
crazy.
They run, and then there's a couple of them that turn from regenerators into Iron
That's
Maidens.
actually that's all of them. Technically, all of them.
Well, it's like later in the game, it's only like 3 of them that do
Yeah,
it.
three of them will become the Iron Maiden, and if you go back and do the that side quest where you got to go
It's
back into
literally like the
the incubator
OG.
room,
It's like
like
the OG one.
if you go back into the incubator room, you actually find the other, like the harder version of the
Oh, I
Iron
did that
Maiden.
one. It was
Yeah, I
like
did that one too.
yeah, that
And
one, that was a lot of, back and forth through the window shooting.
yep.
Alright, come back through the other window, shoot again, and I'm like, "Let me see what happens when I use the automatic sniper rifle on my second playthrough to see how easy it would be." Because I had the bolt action rifle, and that's only because in OG RE4, the bolt action was so good with its piercing thing,
Hmm.
with the piercing and stuff, but then I realized, like, the automatic one is really good
Yeah,
too.
the automatic one's really good. From my understanding, it was one of the earlier weapons had, I think it had like the best raw power. The first shotgun you get apparently has the best raw power versus the riot gun.
Yeah, but the striker is, like, better though.
Striker, yeah, but you get the striker like way later though.
But I thought the riot was powerful than the OG shotgun.
According to what I've seen, I got to look at the stats again,
Yeah, look at the stats, because I'm like,
I could have sworn it said like the best overall raw power was the first one. Like when you max that one out,
yeah,
I gotta look at the stats again.
oh,
But
okay.
I remember Carsey said something about that.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. Ashley doesn't have health, thank God. So
Yeah,
if
we
she gets
still.
hit, she's just incapacitated. Which, to be honest, it does make it easier in certain instances where it's like, well, I don't have to worry about her, and let me just kill these guys and then raise her back up and then keep it moving. The only time that kind of went against me is when Mendez is chasing after you, and I
Oh yeah, you
accident
can. Mm-mm.
she got hit by an axe, and I was like, "How the fuck did Mendez?" And then like the
Nope.
third time I walked back, I was like, "Oh, she got hit by the axe. Fuck." So yeah, that was a trial and error. The Mendez fight definitely the lead up to it is definitely different than OG, but it still stays the same except he throws shit at you now, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, he throws like flaming broken pieces of wood, and and because video game, he picks up two big ass like gas cans that you can easily shoot at. Like,
um
why would you pick that up?
Ramon Salazar fight is way different now. Now he's
Yeah,
like all over the
it's
fucking place.
instead of him being like fixed to the wall, he's now a flying boss. Which, take that however you want. You can either like it or not. I'm okay.
I
I thought it
grenade
was
his ass
different.
to death the first time around. I was like, fuck this.
Just kept chucking grenades. Then when he spits out the acid, just go under the stairs, wait for that shit to go away, and then come back up.
Well, I got like a trophy that apparently, like, I threw the grenade when he opened his mouth. Apparently, it's a trophy that if you throw the grenade when he opens it up, he'll close it and it kills him. And I'm like, that was a trophy? I didn't know.
Thanks for reminding me. I got to do that now.
Yes.
Did you? Oh,
There's no
you,
incendiary grenades. They're called heavy
yeah,
grenades now.
yeah. You got regular grenades, hand grenade, and heavy grenade. Did you do this though? Did you ever hold on to an egg find a picture of Salazar and throw the egg at the picture?
Yeah, I
Like, it
think I
doesn't
had
matter what kind
oh,
of egg.
I had 3 white eggs that I got randomly from just chickens, and I never used them, and then I got the, thing where you have to throw an egg at Salazar's thing, and then boom, you
Yeah,
get
you just
the
throw it at his picture, and boom, you get a trophy.
yeah, so you have that happening and stuff. Like I said, both crosser fights are different. Salazar is different. Vertigo's is different. Um, and here's the one caveat about this game. Uh, much like the OG, because rocket launchers are 80,000 pesetos, it's like the game forces you to be like, hey, you're not gonna rocket launch your way out of this game. You're gonna have to use your weapons. Unless you have the money to
Um,
do it, sure.
and then, from my understanding, once you buy it, if you don't use it, you don't get another opportunity to buy it again until you use it.
Yeah, you can't just hoard them out. It's like you have
Yep.
to use it. I don't know if it goes up in price because I haven't bought a rocket launcher outright, so I don't know if it
No,
goes
I
up
think
in
it's
price.
still. I want to say that it's still the same because I bought one early, but then I went and like then I went through like so many freaking chapters of not using it, and then I finally used it, and I said, well, I don't need it anymore after this.
Yeah, the Sadler fight is a bit different now because he summons Novistadors after you if you run away, which
It's the
that's a
most
fucking pain in the ass.
It's the most annoying shit ever. I mean, just fighting him by himself was already bad, but fighting him and fighting off Novistadors is so annoying. Personally, just have a whole lot of flashbangs. If you got a lot of flash grenades, chuck them shits when it starts getting a little overwhelming because that you can get away from them a lot easier.
Or do like me. I have two completed game saves. One of the saves,
Same here.
I said fuck it, paid 80,000 for the rocket launcher and was like fuck this shit, bitch.
Yep, I did
Like
that.
damn this, I am not. Look, I had before when Ares had finished it, I saw the boss fight of Sadler, and I was like, so I don't have the crane to hit him with the board.
Nope.
Nope,
You don't
rocket
even
launcher. Fuck
get.
this shit. Mm-mm, we're not doing this. Nope.
I
Because
was
it was,
using
bro.
I was using the mine attachment from the bolt thrower. I'm like, it's helping. Like, it's
God, folks, I want to paint the picture here. I had beat the Salazar fight, and I was down to like the bare minimum of like ammo for all my weapons, right? Because I was rocking the
Mhm.
shotgun, sniper rifle, and pistol the whole time, right? It was working for me. But I was using the Magnum just for boss fights only, right? I get to the island. I had the bare minimum of resources, and I was like, gonna have to make this shit fucking
suddenly
work.
like suddenly like suddenly the bare minimum. Oh my god, the struggle is real at that
It
point
got me. It got me
because
through.
resources suddenly just took a dump and just stopped showing up.
Oh, I got through. I was resting on parries and kicking until I
Yeah.
got to the regenerators and I finally got ammo. I was like, whew, got some more ammo.
And
Thank
then when
God.
you get to the regenerators, you can try to avoid them, but
You don't get the bioscope until like after the first
yeah,
three,
like the
which is
first
way
like the
different.
first two. Yeah, I was gonna say after the first two or three, that's when you get the bioscope. But if you try to avoid them and just imagine and just think about this,
They
you
run.
got you got two sections where you have to constantly go back and forth to turn off the power, lower the freaking fence, and
Resource power to the freezer room, and then you gotta run around. It's like
then on top of that, they are on your ass.
it
I
runs
mean,
until you get to the freezer room and then it stops and then resets back to the lab.
yeah, like
Then
they despawn back to back to where they originally were, but then that like, to me, I'm like, oh, I don't like that at all
the one in the
because like
freezer
the
can actually leave
yeah, the one from the freezer can leave, and then you end up running into the one that despawned. So you got two of them coming after you,
until you get to level 3 door, and then that's when it resets itself. And I'm like,
but then you
okay,
got four of them inside the incubator room.
which you can shoot one at a time through the
Yeah,
tubes if you choose to, which yeah, it's fun for the extra money, you know.
like that's where I got the scope, and I'm just sniping away. I'm like, yep, taking you out. Let me scan this. Okay, that those were all the plagas are. Boom, boom, boom. Did you get the trophy for shooting? What was it? Three. I think it was like two or three plagas with one bullet. in
Yeah, I got
original.
it on the Iron Maiden because the way apparently somehow I must have got the angle right and the rifle bullet
Mhm,
went through like two of them and I was like, oh, trophy, cool. Like I said, the island is definitely they do a good job of explaining why the island is so 80s action now because it's like, oh, Sadler hired Krauser to fortify the island around with the temple in the middle. Makes sense because before it was
mhm.
like, why the
Like,
fuck
why
does
is
this
this just
cultist
here?
have an island of all
Yeah.
the who did this? Who is paying you? And then it's like, oh, Krauser was the one that set this up. Okay,
But
that
I
makes
gotta
sense.
ask a question. He might have set it up, and I'm like, Krauser, where did you get where did you get the munitions, sir? Where, like,
Uh, the man pays him in gold. I'm pretty sure you can find
he
that shit on the
paid
black
he
market.
paid him in gold, and I'm like, and let me guess, you were getting all these weapons and stuff from obviously not your own government, so
Black
you
market are us.
black market arms are us.
I mean, let's be real. Like the black market is the seedy underbelly of Resident Evil because it's like, yeah, Umbrella's gone. What happened to all those bio experiments and stuff? Oh, black market. Fuck.
Everything went to the black market.
Yeah, it.
I'm like, okay, so he got all these black market weapons. He gave them to the Ganados, and
Hey, build some shit.
like, dude, the fact that he gave these guys armor, like one actually has like a freaking like an iron mask, and the other one's got like like a bulletproof vest. I'm like, wow, they
Shields that you actually have to
got
kind of
shields.
parry to kick them off. Um, like I said, the island is more fun than the original. Um, I would say even down to the last like room where you have to fight all those folks, that's way more fun than the original one,
Mm-hmm.
easily. And I think that's the kind of mandate of RE4 is that, like they said before, they took what people liked about RE4 and just said, all right, well, we're just gonna remix these things, take out what didn't work, and then keep the stuff that did work and just expand it. Hell, you're after you've killed Del Lago, you can actually explore the whole lake area.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they properly paced the game.
Yeah.
Like they made only the necessary cuts. Like I said, you get rid of U3, you get rid of the some of the most padded stuff that was in OG.
Laser room gone, thank
Yeah, the
God.
laser room is gone, but instead of the laser room, now you got the was it the laser machine guns on the island.
Yeah,
So
which easy to get around.
yeah, you can just get around that. Like this definitely had some Metal Gear influences if you think about it. You know,
Yeah.
now that Leon can crouch and he can like, quietly move around and he can sneak up on people and like take them out with the knife, you know, uh, like I definitely see where their influences like where they show up in this game, and again, it's dope. Like I said, this is probably the best remake that Capcom has done for Resident Evil.
Well, I mean, they learned their lessons because I mean, you think about they took what they did for the RE3 remake and RE2 remake and was like, all right, let's
Well,
take all the
technically they didn't do RE3 remake. The guys that did like the team that did RE2 remake did not do RE3. They did this one though. They did
well, I'm saying, but
RE4.
they still kind of took things from that RE3 remake. It's like they took the best things from RE2 and RE3 remake and then melded into RE4, and it's still the RE4 that you know, but with those added additions that those other two games did. Which I'm like, all right, cool, you did this. How is Code Veronica going to play when it gets
Well,
remade?
it's
That's
it's
going to be
the
interesting.
that is the one game that everybody says this. I mean, that game needs like the
Huge quality of
like
life
the
updates.
like the biggest quality of life updates. Probably, if anyone needed a remake more than any of these games, it was definitely Code Veronica. But now, because of the game, it's definitely because this game is out there already hinting. And let's be real, Capcom is working on RE5 remake.
I feel okay, so I feel that they're doing this thing where they might Code Veronica is going to be next before RE5 because if you think about it,
Got to
RE it
split the
makes
team
it
up.
may
That's all I can
it
say.
no, I'm saying it made sense to do a RE4 remake because we've been following along on the Leon Raccoon City tour, so to speak. So I started understanding like, all right, I see why they went to RE4. So I think it makes sense that before they do RE5, hey, let's do Code Veronica because Chris was in that, Wesker was in it, Claire was in it, and let's, you know, go with that, and then we'll do RE5 and then go from there. Because I mean, look, as action packed as RE4 was, can you imagine this same shit but in RE5?
I would love to see it. I
And
mean,
and think about it,
RE5 was already an action game,
and think
but
about it. If they wholly revamp that partner system to where the AI is actually just as smart as the computer is just as smart as the enemy computers that's helping you, done.
well, let's be real. Luis as your partner, he's actually helpful.
Gives you ammo when you're low on pistol
Yeah,
ammo.
gives you
Like he
ammo.
kills.
Dude, he sets up enemies for you to melee, which is dope.
Now imagine that's Sheva, and she, man, look, it's, bro. You might be right because I feel with Luis, with them enhancing Luis's thing, I think that's them really testing out how they can have Sheva or Chris, whichever character you play as, and that's what your computer partner is going to be.
Hell, even to a certain extent, Ashley.
Yeah, she helps in certain degrees. There's only like 3 spots in this game that you can hide her, which I thought was interesting because it definitely
Yeah.
keeps it keeps the tension up.
Again, the Metal Gear reference. You can't hide her in a dumpster, but you can hide her in a locker.
Tell me why.
which, by the way, don't think that that's gonna. I mean, don't think that that's like 100% pure safety because the Ganados they can open up that locker and take her.
Oh no, they can't. But here's the thing. Um, don't do like me and in the midst of you doing your action thing, accidentally click R3 in the middle of shooting, and you're like, Ashley, how the fuck did you get? Oh, I clicked R3. Fuck.
Also, be careful be careful if you tell her to hide somewhere and then you're engaged in a freaking gunfight and somehow she's like, "Don't leave me, Leon." I'm like, "Why are you running? Why are you coming to me? I get this much this much distance away from you and you want to come into danger.
Yeah,
Why?" That was definitely something I hated.
just sit there, it's the Joe Button. Why?
Yes. That was
Oh my god.
the moment she says, "Don't leave me, Leona," where are you going? Why? You want to know something that like I was kind of sad that it's not in this game. Well, it's in the game, but it's not in the game. The the Novistador Hive.
So
It's
it's
not
partially there, but it's like you said, it's not.
like it's not there to where you can shoot it down and you don't deal with them anymore.
So after the cart mine ride, which is fun as hell with Luis, it's a bit tense because
Yeah.
there's a trophy. I didn't get the trophy, but there's a trophy attached of going through it without being damaged. It's possible, but it's a lot of practice you have to do
I said screw it. I did it on assisted and just kept it pushing.
Yeah. So there's a side quest that you can do where after the minecart ride, you and Louise are like going through this whole. It's actual is like part of the amber hive of the Novistadors, and you have to shoot 4 little slots, and it basically kills off the hive, technically. But you don't see the whole hive crashing down kind of thing, which is like, oh man,
Yeah,
I kind of want.
I like to see it crash. I mean, it was in the OG, but then again, it's the same thing as the Salazar statue now, the freaking robotic statue no longer chases after you. It's there in the game, but I think it got swapped out for the armored El Gigante chucking rocks at you.
Yeah. Mercenaries is dropping next week, which I'm happy.
That's dope.
Free DLC update, which I'm like, all right, bet I'm there. Because I think the nature of the game, it's right for fucking mercenaries. Probably way more than RE Villages was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, granted,
Especially
granted, I think,
especially that reverse nonsense.
yeah. Which, granted, I think I did like RE Villages mercenaries just because you get to play as the villains in that one, so it did make it more interesting and fun, especially
Mm-hmm.
playing as Milady Dimitrescu or Heisenberg and all that stuff. So that was fun. But this one, it's like, does that mean I can play as Krauser? Like,
I
or
think so.
Louise?
Yeah, I think so. Or
Yeah,
possibly Wesker.
or Ada. That too. I mean, that like that
Hey,
was
listen. We know Assignment Ada and Separate Ways is coming.
Which, if you know, Assignment Ada was never canon in the first goddamn place.
It wasn't. It was just missions that you had to do.
Yeah, it was just missions and stuff, and it ends with you fighting Krauser and stuff. And Separate Ways was basically like, hey, what was Ada doing in between Chris's shit? And then, which I feel Separate Ways in this game is definitely going to be a 180 from what the original game was. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how it does, and maybe it will expand on Krauser's relationship to Wesker. Because, like I said, I still feel like when you look at Krauser's transformation in this game, I like better than the original one, just because it feels like, oh, Wesker hooked you up, because they ain't fucking Sadler that did that shit. Ain't no
Yeah,
way.
that's
Ain't no
definitely not
way.
that's definitely not the Plaga. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like curious on the relationship between Krauser and Wesker and like how that came to be. I mean, granted, we know after Operation Javier, Krauser was like, yo, I want power because hey, reasons and stuff, So but yeah, I can't wait to play Mercenaries, and I probably say this is like, again, much like Ghost of Tsushima and some of these other games, it's like, yo, I feel this is definitely a game that's worth the price.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want more. Can't wait. Even though I know we're not going to get Dino Crisis or any of those shit.
We
Just
technically we are in that game.
I don't count that shit. I don't count that. Somebody said like it. I guess there's some people that feel some way that we're not going to get Dino Crisis, but I was like, well, let's be real. Like Dino Crisis worked because of how Resident Evil was made back then. So
Yeah.
it made for those tense moments of, oh, you got dinosaurs chasing you. So you have the camera system and the way the game plays, it made it more tense. But like with the way RE2 remake and 3 remake and 4 remake is made, how do you make dinosaurs like scary? Like
That's gonna be tough.
Maybe Dino Crisis 2 I could see in this system because that would play a lot better as a run and gun shooting and stuff. But like you said, that's why we got that new game coming out. So I guess that's technically Dino Crisis 2 spiritual successor, so to speak. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Ashley, hey, funny thing, Ashley is not annoying in this game.
Yeah, not at all.
She's an actual whole ass character. I like how they broke down how Carl's kidnapped her ass. Like, hey, follow her from the school, gets inside the thing. Oh,
Yoink.
they literally break down like, oh, so that's how Carl. Because in the original game, I was like, how the fuck did they kidnap this damn chick? I know Krauser did. Like, did Krauser just take her out of her bedroom at night or some shit? Like, it's like, oh, he kidnapped her from school. Got you.
Yep.
All right, makes sense. Makes sense. But yeah, RE4.
This game is definitely, and this game is definitely the period piece of 2004 because when you go find Ashley in the castle, you find clues. Her freaking Motorola Razr flip phone
gone. There's also the added bonus of like not just Leon, there were other people that randomly found themselves in that village and got kidnapped.
They mentioned some hikers, and
you see
at first I was
actually.
They said there was this case of like 2 missing hikers or something, and I was like, I wonder why they threw that in there. Come to find out, oh, you go through this door, you actually find the 2 hikers that were killed. Wow.
One of them was on the sacrifice board, already got their head smashed in for blood, and the other one was hung up with the symbol on her face in blood. And I was like, oh shit, like goddamn, like.
All right.
First off, they were of the Caucasus Caucasian because first off, how do you randomly just find yourself hiking out in the middle of fucking nowhere and find yourself in an Eastern European village? I'm sorry, like
especially out in that part of Spain. Like, what are you doing out there? Why are you there?
I visited Spain, my ass staying in a fucking city, and that's it. Ain't hell no.
It's like, why are we doing this?
I know they ain't black. Black person is not going out in the woods for a hike. The hell out of here.
Not like this. Not like this.
Hold on. Hey, which village would you prefer? The RE8 village or this village from Resident Evil 4 Remake?
Oh God. First of all, RE8 village, we have
wolves.
We have wolves. We got Heisenberg with Magneto powers,
zombie skeletons,
like zombie skeletons, Freaking oh yeah, the DLC you got mannequins that whenever you turn, if you don't shine the light on them, they come after your ass. Hold up, we got what was I like to call as we refer to her as big titty vampire lady, like chasing after you that transforms into something even into a flying death machine. We have a giant fetus roaming around that damn castle underground. You know
You
what? I'll
got
take my I'll take my chances with the Ganados.
yeah, because the worst case, you shoot them in the head, they pop out
Yeah,
with Las
I shoot.
Plagas.
It's like no real talk. Pop him in the knee, run. I'm just gonna shoot him in the knee, run.
I mean, think about
Uh,
it. Like, I think it was interesting too. Like, I think the scary part of the game was the beginning because with the police officers, like
yeah,
the one officer that went in got his head fucking bashed in, dead. The other one got jumped, but the difference was his car didn't get blown up. They fucking dragged his ass out the fucking car and took him into the village and burned his ass alive. I'm like, God damn,
yep.
that's even more scarier because I'm like, yo, like, are you serious? Like, damn, like, just
Like okay, they're not playing around. In other words, don't get caught lacking. That's simple as that. Don't get caught lacking. Shit, if I'm in that village, I will point my gun at the freaking church bell. Boom, there we go. Peace and quiet.
yeah, or I'm just not going to Spain in the
Or
countryside.
just yeah, just don't go there. I'll take the south of France.
Exactly. But
Can't
anyway,
afford it, but hey, I'm alive.
but anyways, yeah, that's it for pressing buttons. This is look. I had a timetable myself to beat that game, and I was like, by hook or crook, I'm beating this shit by Friday at the latest. And then like Thursday night, I was like, well, shit, I'm at the end of the game. Fuck it, let's beat this shit now.
Especially after I told you that I that I already beat the game. You were like, "What?" I said, "Dude, I wasn't
I was
playing, man."
determined. I was a man on a mission. I was like, I gotta beat this game. I gotta beat this game. It has to be done.
It's
So
not every day I beat this guy to the punch and beat a game.
I can get back to Yakuza Ishin amongst other games and stuff and have fun with that game. Which, by the way, great game. That's another game that's worthy of buying, especially if you like the Yakuza series. It's a fun ass game.
Mm.
D, I wouldn't be shocked if D ends up beating that game before me. We'll see about that. So, but yeah, that's it for pressing buttons, man. And yeah, this is definitely fun. Yeah. So that in mind, see you guys later. Peace.
Yep. Deuces.